You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold fans, Brooke Logan is about to get another shock when she confronts Ridge Forrester about Hope's firing, and it does not go the way she imagined. Ridge is about to write Brooke a big old reality check, you know, the size of the one that Publishers Clearinghouse gives out to winners. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to dive into this huge mess that's getting stickier every day that we step deeper into November sweeps on Bold and the Beautiful. But please subscribe if you're not following us. Okay. So this week, Brooke just couldn't believe her ears when she heard that Ridge had her daughter Hope tossed out on her keister after Steffy fired her. And as I expected, on Monday, they repeated part of Friday's episode with Hope's sad walk of shame out of Forrester Creations. Steffy fired her after catching Hope on top of Finn. And yes, there was a way that Hope could have explained herself, but she didn't want to admit that she was in lingerie to do the dirty with the company COO in the design office. And just a side question, does Forrester Creations have an HR department? I mean, probably not. And if they did, some Forrester would probably be sleeping with that person too, because there just seems to be no safe space at that company. So anyway, Carter comforted Hope, vowed revenge, and zoomed her out of there in his Corvette straight over to the Logan estate. And once they were at her mom's place, Carter asked if Hope set the record straight that she was getting sexy for him. And Hope said no. She was not going to throw Carter under the bus. And, you know, Brooke thinks the whole thing is ridiculous, a misunderstanding that can somehow be undone. Right? Hope said it just didn't matter what she said because Steffy was looking for a reason to fire her. I do want to pause right there. That's true. And Hope was going to get fired, but it was about the dismal numbers on her line. I mean, Eric and Ridge were actually surprised that Steffy hadn't fired her before this, just because the line was underperforming. And the only reason Steffy hadn't already fired her was because she was basically giving Hope false hope that her line would stay alive if she stayed away from Finn. But bottom line, business is about profit, and Hope for the Future wasn't making enough of a profit. But yes, Steffy was super sketchy to let Hope think the line had a chance when she really wasn't going to keep it going. Steffy was just using it basically as a leash to yank Hope away from Finn. And to be fair, for a while there, Hope was targeting Finn. She was sitting around fantasizing about getting handsy with him, fantasizing about kissing him, having naughty daydreams about Finn pulling her clothes off in her little cabin, and just all kinds of inappropriate thoughts about Steffi's husband. And that's why when she got liquored up at the party at Eric, she kissed him, because she was letting all this entertain in her brain. If Hope was really trying to control herself and forget Finn, like Brooke told her to, probably none of that would have happened, because the kiss was the big deal. So on both sides of this, it's an unprofessional, personal mess, but the end result was the same. Hope for the Future was not doing well and has not been since it lost its lead designer, Thomas Forrester, and you can debate whether that's Hope's fault or whether it's Steffi's fault. They both had a piece in him leaving. But the firing itself, it was handled badly and for the wrong reasons. And Carter, he's also to blame, because he was being shady when he changed his projections and he changed his recommendations on Hope for the Future, because he wanted to get busy with Hope. Because up until then, he was like, no, we need to cut it. The numbers aren't there. And it was like, oh, she's cute. Maybe I'd like some of that. And then it's like all of a sudden the projections changed. I actually think Carter is the skeeviest of everybody involved, because I think he was playing fast and loose with the numbers to try and keep the woman he hoped would be his girlfriend hanging around Forrester Creations. But Hope told her mom that she also couldn't say anything about Carter, because then Steffy would accuse her of using Carter to save her line. And this was kind of funny, Brooke said, this firing won't stand. Ridge will do something about it, you know? That to me was when the episode got really good. Hope told her mom that, no, your boyfriend Ridge stood right there. He agreed with my firing and told Hope, it's time to go. And Ridge basically walked her out along with Steffy and Charlie the guard. And then, of course, Taylor was there to hear all about it. And that chapped Brooke to no end that her rival was there for it. Ridge wanted Brooke to hear about Hope's firing from him. He had that conversation with Steffy and Taylor at the same time that Hope was unpacking all this for her mom. So it was already too late, even though Ridge wanted to be the one to break the news. But either way, no matter who Brooke hears it from, Ridge has made it clear he supports Steffy on her decision to fire Hope. Steffy told her dad before he went over to head to Brooks, stay strong. Do not let the Logans manipulate you. Do not let them change your mind. Meanwhile, Brooke told Hope that Ridge wouldn't do that without talking to her first. I just don't even know. It's like, Brooke, hello, Hope just told you what he did. Are you in denial? Are you on that river in Egypt? What? He absolutely did it. And your daughter just told you that he did. So Hope told her all this about tripping and falling on Finn, which is true. But none of that really matters in the end. This should be about the line, not about straddling husbands accidentally while wearing lingerie to have workday nookie with the COO. It shouldn't be. So the conversation between Ridge and Brooke is probably going to start on Tuesday, but it really heats up on Wednesday when Brooke goes off on Ridge over letting his daughter fire her daughter. Brooke is adamant that Ridge undo this and unfire Hope. Meanwhile, Ridge is telling Brooke that Hope can't keep doing this. And by this, he means pursuing Finn. And Brooke tells Ridge that he's wrong about this. And he's wrong because people are withholding information. Brooke and Hope and Carter are hiding something huge. So the Forresters have nothing else to go on other than what Steffy saw, and that Hope didn't deny. She was just trying to give it context of, I tripped, but she shouldn't have been in lingerie in the middle of the workday, and she was clearly waiting on someone and she didn't want to explain herself. So it all came out looking very suspect. And if Brooke keeps the Carter Hope secret, then that will make it clear why Ridge is not going to side with her and undo anything. So they have this very tense discussion about loyalty. Somehow Brooke thinks Ridge should believe Hope over Steffy. That's not going to happen. I'm sure she's going to tell him that Steffi's been threatening Hope for the future for some time now. And I'm sure Ridge will say, yeah, because the line's not doing well. And then Brooke may say Steffy fired Hope for personal reasons. And then he'll say, well, your daughter shouldn't have kissed Finn and shouldn't have been on top of him at work. They say the truth shall set you free. But in this case, I don't think it's going to help them any. I'm pretty sure Ridge sticks to his guns and he writes Brooke a reality check. Hope is fired. Hope for the future is done. That's all there is, except that's not all there is for Brooke, because one of the Logan ladies, or possibly more than one, Katie, Donna, or Brooke, hit up Eric to try and get him to reverse the decision. And what's interesting is he actually does talk to Steffy, which is kind of crazy because Eric also knows, personal stuff aside, Hope for the future has been a losing line for quite a while, and he was also advocating for it to be shut down. Take the Finn factor out, and the line was destined to be in the dustbin. And that's the tricky thing about the truth here. If Carter, Brooke, or Hope do come clean, that's not going to get her unfired, because all that does is make Carter look shady for pushing a losing line because he was hot for Hope. That's not going to change the reality that the line wasn't doing well and needed to be cut. Right? So when Ridge writes Brooke a reality check, the question is she going to take it and walk away from him? Is this a deal breaker for their relationship? We'll see. Eric is not going to make any headway with Steffy, who sticks to her guns on her decision to fire Hope and end her line. And Brooke and Carter and Hope seem poised to do something big in retaliation.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.